My family and I got our first 3D printer a little over a year ago. We have the Flashforge Adventurer 5M, and over the course of the year, what started off as like a cool gadget has become a full-on family hobby. Adults, kids, we all love 3D printing. But as what happens with a lot of hobbies is once you start doing more, you want to be able to do more. So the more 3D printing we did, the more interested we became in being able to make multicolored prints so that we could make things a little bit more interesting and really get creative with our hobby. So we decided to fuel our obsession, and as a family gift this year, we got the Flashforge AD5X. It's actually a pretty new machine. It came out in the summer of 2025 as one of the first budget-friendly multi-filament machines. And since I'd already had a Flashforge that I felt really happy with, this felt like a really natural upgrade for me. I've been using this machine now for a little over 3 weeks, and so I want to share with you things that I'm really loving about it so far, as well as some things that I would change if I could. One of the things that I really love about it is the setup. It comes very securely packaged, and it's basically already all set up. You don't have to assemble the cage. I was really worried about that. This is all put together. All you have to do is there's going to be 4 little screws holding this plate in place so it doesn't wiggle and jiggle during shipping. You just remove those, and then you're going to have 6 screws that will attach the display and the filament feeder. The little reels on the sides, those just snap right into place, so you do not have to be a tech genius or a building expert. It's pretty intuitive, pretty easy. One thing that also really surprised me, and I would consider it a pro, is the size of the machine. It's very compact. Like, I probably could have read the dimensions, but I didn't. So I expected the machine to be really big and bulky since it had the 4 filaments, but it's actually just about the same size as my single filament machine. The only difference is the single filament machine has 1 reel on the back, whereas this one has 4 on the sides. The size of the cage is just about the same. Loading the filament is also incredibly easy. So you have your 4 racks labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. The order of them did throw me off for a second, but they're all labeled, so you get the hang of it pretty quickly. Loading the filament, all you do is, so this is rack 2, and so I'm going to line it up with slot 2, and I'm just going to feed it right here. And then I'll just kind of hold on for a second until the machine kicks in, and then it does the rest of the work in loading the filament for me. Once you have your filament loaded, you just go to the little filament section and tell the machine what color is in each rack. It's super easy to edit, and then you can just assign the color to your prints. The AD5X does come with a couple of preloaded prints. It's nothing that exciting. It's like a little coin, a little boat, things like that. This fish was one of their preloaded ones. Nothing too exciting, but you'll definitely want to print off 1 or 2 just to make sure everything's running how it should. The AD5X works with a program called OrcaSlicer. OrcaSlicer is where you review your designs, make any changes you need to before sending them over to your printer to be printed. OrcaSlicer is a very visually basic, not flashy program, but that being said, I would also consider it very intuitive and easy to learn. I'm definitely not tech savvy, and I pick it up quickly. My older kids are able to use it easily, so I'm going to call that a pro. Once your designs are ready to be sent, there's 2 ways to do it. You can either do it over Wi-Fi, which is how I normally send mine, or you can put them on a USB and plug them directly into the display. This is kind of where it's interesting. So this is where the USB port is, which is pretty close to this first rack. So if you have a larger USB, you might need to take off the spool, download your design, and then put it back on. I don't know if I would call it a con, but definitely an interesting design choice, I guess. Once your designs are loaded on the machine, they are part of the machine's library, which is awesome. So once you've done that before, all you have to do is go to the library and you can just click on something that you've printed and it will automatically start printing. My first grader will literally be like, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday tomorrow, and he will go start the machine, go through the library and print something for them all on his own, which still just blows my mind. I've been super impressed by the print quality as well. So if you look at my layers, they're all super smooth. The details are crisp. The filament has a nice shine to it. It hasn't been sticking to the tray. One thing that I do notice, kind of a little tip, is that the multicolored prints seem to really like the higher temperatures. So I usually print mine at the 215 to 220 degree range, and they have been printing so seamlessly with a great amount of shine. One con of multi-filament machines is they do purge a little bit of filament between each color. It looks like this, kind of like a little machine poop, if you will. So it looks like if this one went from pink to white, and so it does this little blob right here so that the colors and the layers stay crisp, because if you look at the middle zone, you can see it's kind of muddy, and that would have been on your print. So it's necessary to do to make sure that you have nice clean prints, but it does mean that you're going to waste a little bit of filament. This isn't specific to the AD5X. This is more so multi-filament printers in general. But one way I did find to get away from that and have less waste is I will do multiple at a time. So if I'm going to print 3 of these, I do all 3 at once. So it goes green, 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 and then it purges red, red, red. Whereas if you're going to do 1 at a time, it'll go back and forth with each print. So just a little tip to help save you some filament. I think the thing that surprised me the most about having a 3D printer is how much we use it. So if it's somebody's birthday, we make them something. If we need an organizer for a junk drawer, we make one that fits the drawer perfectly. With Valentine's Day coming up, my son wanted to make little personalized Valentines for his friends, and they're turning out stinking cute. So if you're interested in starting a new hobby and you want a machine that makes really clean prints, is fairly intuitive to use, and that you don't have to be super tech savvy to understand or be an artist to create, the AD5X is an amazing choice.